Wow, a new Mario sports game that comes with baseball, soccer, tennis, golf, and horse racing? I can't wait! And back to the Wii it is. While many of Nintendo's franchises became watered-down versions of themselves while on the Wii, Mario Super Sluggers was not one of these games. Super Sluggers is the peak of the Mario sports formula and has not been matched to this day, and I just don't think it gets the love that it deserves. One of the main reasons this game is forgotten about is because it wasn't released across the pond, because you know, those European blokes just start fuming at the thought of baseball. When the game first came out, it only got okay reviews, mostly because we were still at the beginning of the Wii's life cycle when people were just hating motion controls. It even lost to Guitar Hero World Tour at the 2009 Kids' Choice Awards. The Academy just has no taste anymore, does it? When you first start up the game, you're greeted to one of those classic cutscenes that used to be in front of all the Mario sports games. God, I miss these, it just adds so much character and personality to the games. All the captains are the same as in the original GameCube game. I've never understood why they chose Birdo as a captain. I mean, I get all the other characters, those are the mainstays, but Birdo? That's just a normal enemy. Why not pick Wiggler or something at that point? When it comes to characters, Super Sluggers knocks it out of the park. Get it? Cause like, you know, it's a baseball game and it's funny cause it's a But my god, would you just look at that roster. You've got the usual lineup here, but with some amazing additions. You've got the best Donkey Kong representation since Barrel Blast, and reminding me of that game is always a plus. And you think Mario Kart 8 had a lot of babies. This has baby Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Bowser, and baby DK in his second and final appearance. This game also has lots of Sunshine representation like Nokia's, Pianta's, Bowser Jr., and PD Piranha. Imagine, you can play as a piranha plant. Can't believe Nintendo put a piranha plant as a playable character. I mean, who would want to do that? You can also add Miis to your roster, which I loved as a kid, but it's actually just kinda lame. Who would want to add a Mii to their roster when they can have baby DK? This is the best roster in any Mario spin-off ever, and there had only been 2 3D Marios before it. Imagine how great the roster could be now. You could play as a realistic human! I do wish each character had their own unique star move. I mean, when Mario hits the ball, it shoots out fireballs, and when Funky hits it, oh. The characters do have a lot of personality though. Each one has their own unique out animation, home run animation, and attacks in the outfield. Also, the stadiums in this game blow the GameCube one out of the water. There are 9 unique stadiums, and 6 of them can be played at nighttime, which makes them look different and have different mechanics. Mario Stadium, basically baby's first baseball game. Pretty much just the standard field, no real gimmicks or anything super interesting to see here besides the music. Daisy Cruiser, on the other hand, is one of the best stadiums. If you play in the day, there are tables in the outfield which can block the fielders as well as being broken by the ball, but at night is when it gets really juicy. There are Cheep Cheeps bouncing around in the outfield that can hit the fielder, and sometimes the side of the ship is grabbed onto and tilted sideways by Gooper Blooper. I just feel dirty saying that name. Peach's Ice Garden has pillars of ice in the outfield which can freeze the fielders if they touch it. Luckily you can't slide on the ice, because if they would have done that, it would have rivaled Barrel Blast for amounts of fun that you can have playing it. At nighttime though, the stadium looks gorgeous. It keeps the ice pillars, but there are also crystal stars hanging down from the top. If the ball hits the star, it turns the lights out in the stadium, which is just such a terrible gimmick. Imagine if you're outside playing baseball and someone's just like... Yoshi Park probably has my favorite gimmick. There are pipes in the outfield, and if the ball lands in it, it'll shoot the ball to another part of the field. The pipes are just spaced out enough to where it's fun and not annoying. At nighttime, piranha plants come out of the pipes and can hurt the players if they come close to it. There's also a train in the outfield which can hit the fielder, which turns into a Wiggler at night. I really like the aesthetic of a theme park being around the stadium, and it makes it one of the better themed areas. Not my favorite, but probably my top 3. Wario City, aka Perfection, is a Las Vegas type area centered around Wario. There are manholes in the outfield that if a fielder runs on will shoot them up into the air with water. Also, there are arrows on the ground that if the ball hits will shoot it off into the direction the arrow's pointing. Everything lights up and it looks like you're in some Planet of the Wario style Times Square. I mean, who doesn't want a giant statue of Wario with the top hat looking down on them at all times? DK Jungle is fine, nothing too major to see here. There are flowers in the outfield that'll make the fielder fall asleep if they run across it. And sometimes barrels just randomly shoot out of the wall and hit the fielder, which is pretty annoying. I have no nostalgia for Luigi's Mansion because I didn't realize it was a stadium until years after I stopped playing. I saw a YouTube video where they were playing there and didn't realize you had to buy it from the shop. I mean, who used the shop? I never used the shop. Pretty basic. There's tall grass in the outfield that ghosts can come out to stop the fielder. Also, you can only play at Luigi's Mansion at night. Pretty good stage, but I would have loved it as a kid because I had a strange obsession with Luigi's Mansion, even though I never played it. Bowser Jr. Playroom. Why is it not called Bowser Jr.'s Playroom? The design of the castle on the map is pretty great. If the ball hits a certain panel in the outfield, either a chain chomp or a bullet bill will come out and chase down the fielder. I really like this gimmick because it's not in the way, but it's effective. The walls are also really high in this stadium for some reason, so it's almost impossible to get a home run. Never my first pick, but pretty solid stadium. Lastly, we have Bowser Castle, really pulling out the originality in these games, guys, good job. Your pretty basic Bowser's Castle level, pretty much exactly what you'd expect, and it's pretty disappointing compared to Bowser Jr. Playroom. Seeing King Bob-omb is cool though, but there's nothing much to see here. So now let's get into the game. I never had too much of a problem with motion controls except for running. I feel like an idiot while I'm just doing this. I hope my parents never walk up while I'm doing this. Also, I have an issue throwing balls to certain bases. You have to use the nunchuck to point in one of the 4 directions, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Pitching and batting feels pretty good, but fielding's kind of difficult. Once the ball's hit, it's pretty random which character you're going to be controlling, and sometimes it just changes for no reason. And am I the only one that got blisters from shaking the Wiimote in my hands to run? I remember as a kid that being a huge problem. Nintendo, I demand some gloves. The chemistry mechanic is also pretty fun, but I do wish it was random if it worked or not. Once you find characters that you like in the outfield, you'll pretty much always catch it if you can do the buddy jump. Each character has their own unique stats, but I don't really feel like it means anything because I always hit my home runs with Magic Koopa. There's also items you can use in the games, which suck. So imagine trying to run while doing this, while also doing this. It's super easy. The Boo is the only good item. It makes the ball invisible so that you can't just catch it automatically. The POW is pretty good because it sends a shockwave that knocks out anyone that's near it, but it's not too hard to avoid. The shell is an item, I guess, but it's impossible to line up a shot. The fireball sucks because it's impossible to dodge, and by the time you get the ball, they've already made it to second base. It's basically a guaranteed double. Bob-omb is the worst item though. Even if you somehow get to aim and get close to them, it takes a minute to blow up, and by that time they're already gone or the ball's back in the infield. There's also an entire campaign mode, and it's actually pretty meaty. It's like a Mario Baseball RPG. In this mode, Bowser Jr. invades Baseball Island, so Mario has to go around recruiting players in order to challenge Bowser Jr. to a baseball game. Clear inspiration is from Space Jam. You have to go around the areas surrounding the stadiums as either Mario, Peach, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, or Wario, and attempt to recruit players to help you challenge Bowser. You can change between the captains in the overworld, and each one has their own unique ability. Mario can obviously go through warp pipes, and he can also talk to plants. Peach can interact with random things in the environment. Her rules aren't really super set, it's just kind of like, whatever we have left over, Peach can do it. Yoshi can ground pound through manholes to reach other areas, as well as ground pounding next to trees to make things fall out of it. Donkey Kong can climb vines and smash wooden barrels. And Wario uses his magnet to pick up metal things and open treasure chests. The areas are actually pretty fun to explore, and you either have to solve a puzzle or do a scout mission to unlock the characters once you find them. Some of the missions are basic and just kind of tutorial modes, like use different types of swings and pitches, but some are actually kind of hard, like make a comeback when you're down by 1 and have 2 outs, or hit the ball to a certain part of the field, which I could just never get down. Some of the missions use a lot of baseball terminology, which obviously I know, but I'll go ahead and look it up for some of you less baseball savvy viewers. Forcing you to complete missions to also unlock the alternate colors of characters seems like a little bit of padding, but it's nothing too bad. The game also becomes semi-open world after you finish Mario Stadium. Eat your heart out, Breath of the Wild. But yeah, there's a good bit to do here, and you'll find yourself doing the challenge mode for a while if you're wanting to unlock everything. There's also several mini-games throughout the world, some of which are more fun than those in the mini-game mode. Speaking of, Bob-omb Derby taking place at Mario Stadium, basically a home run derby contest where you're hitting bob-ombs into the sky to try and make fireworks. It's pretty replayable since you're trying to go for a high score. Blooper Base Run, you're running back and forth between the 4 bases trying to collect coins as Gooper Blooper, I still don't like it, hits you with his tentacles. One of the less fun games is you're basically just pressing A and B the entire time. Wall Ball, the pitching minigame, probably the best one in the game. You have to time your pitches in order to break walls of ice, some of which are worth more points if you hit them last. It's pretty fun if you're playing with button controls, but impossible to time your pitches if you're using motion. Ghost K is pretty basic, you're just throwing balls to try and hit the ghosts that are floating in front of you. If you hit your colored ghost, you get more points. Since you're using the nunchuck to pick which ghost you're throwing to, like when you pick bases in the actual game, sometimes it just doesn't work, which is really annoying. Probably would have enjoyed it as a kid, but I just do not care for this one. Barrel Basher. This game sucks. Remember the mission where you have to hit the ball to a certain part of the field? Well, now that's the entire game, and you're timed. It's just wonderful. Barrels are coming at you from several different directions, and you have to pitch the ball as well as hitting it in the direction the barrel's coming from. If any barrel touches you, the game's over. I might just be dumb, but I can't even beat the easy level. I remember hating this game as a kid, and I thought when I came back I'd be better, but nope, still trash. Jim Catch is a fielding minigame. You go around trying to catch jewels that are shot out of a cannon while avoiding items. The more you get without breaking, the more points you get. It's pretty enjoyable, plus bonus points for taking place in Wario City. Piranha Panic. I remember loving this one as a kid, but I really don't know why. Basically, a piranha can come at you in one of 4 different directions, and you have to use the different types of pitches in order to hit it. You're playing against 3 other people, and whoever has the most points at the end wins. It's pretty repetitive and not very challenging, plus whenever you use a star pitch, it adds smoke to the other 3 players, and like, wow, I wonder where I'm supposed to throw it, I can't see a thing, this is very challenging. Graffiti Runners. This has nothing to do with baseball. In Graffiti Runners, you're trying to get a paintbrush and run around Bowser Jr.'s playroom in order to paint the most ground. I don't know why this is in here, it feels more like a Mario Party game than a Super Sluggers game. Plus, since the fielding controls aren't very great and the attacking isn't super fun, it's not a super great minigame. Bowser Pinball, really keeping the clever names coming, huh guys? This is what Barrel Basher should have been. In this game, a spiked ball is rolling towards you and you have to hit it back in order to get points. Basically, baseball pinball. It's actually pretty fun and is probably one of my favorites, even though it's on a boring stage. Toy Field, aka the Smash Tour of Super Sluggers. In this side mode, 1 player bats while the other 3 stop a slot machine that decides the speed of the pitch, the path of the pitch, and the item the batter gets to use. After the batter hits the ball, they gain points based on the amount of the panel the ball lands on in the outfield. The other 3 players attempt to attack each other in order to get the ball, and whoever has the ball at the end of a couple seconds gets to bat next. The batter also has an item that they can use in an attempt to stop the other players from getting the ball, and if nobody gets the ball at the end, the batter gets to go again. There's also luck-based mini-games. Yes! Basically to win you just need to be big and fast, so whoever is Wiggler's gonna win every time. Did anybody actually play this game? This mode isn't very fun, and I have no fond memories of this, and it seems like nobody else does either. My gosh, I want a new Mario baseball game. I want it more than any other spin-off. These games are just so unique and fun, and anyone can enjoy it. I have memories of playing this with family, friends, and even grandparents. Super Sluggers is the best of the best when it comes to spin-offs, and I hope one day we get a new one. But you know what we really need? A full Mario horse racing game. Yes, baby!
This is Boomerang from Cartoon Network.